This week's edition of NJBIA's Minding Your Business is brought to you in part by AT&T, helping family, friends, and neighbors connect in meaningful ways every day. New Jersey's community colleges, aligning education to build an innovative workforce. Find out how your business can benefit at njpathways.org. And by New Jersey Business Magazine, providing critical information needs for New Jersey's business community for more than 66 years.
Welcome to NJBIA's Minding Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Well, there's a new and important partnership between New Jersey's community colleges and the New Jersey Big Data Alliance that will help college students save time and money. This is an exciting collaboration made through the New Jersey Pathways to Career Opportunities Initiative, and here to discuss it is the president of the New Jersey Big Data Alliance and professor of political science at Seton Hall, Mr. Matt Hale, and Kelly Fitzpatrick, associate professor of mathematics at the County College of Morris. Folks, thank you so much for being here. I am basking in your intelligence right now.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so before we get into this initiative, tell us more about the New Jersey Big Data Alliance.
Sure. The NJBIA is a consortium of 18 four-year universities in New Jersey and a growing number of community colleges. And our primary goal is as a place where people who are doing research on artificial intelligence, big data, a whole host of things, data analytics, get together and share their research. But then also trying to figure out how do we get the students in our classrooms to have the skills necessary to be out there in this new big data economy.
Okay.
So it's a consortium of that.
Got it. And it's been around for what, like 13 years?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been been around for about 11. So.
Okay. And so big data, what are we talking about? We hear the term, but not a lot of people know what it is.
So I always think of big data as if you had an enormous amount of data, right? Big, right? What are you going to do with it? And I tend to think that what we look at big data for is how do we predict based on past data, how do we predict what's going to happen in the future? Okay. And the ramifications for that are in just about every field imaginable. But we have the capacity now to do massive computing, to have massive data sets, and how does that help us make better decisions in the future? So big data really is about predicting the future based on the data that we have from the past.
Right. And there's always 3 V's I've always heard with big data. It's volume, variety, and velocity. Have you heard this before, or is this something I just made up?
I have heard that before.
Okay.
I think it's, how do we get it as fast as we can? How do we get as much as we possibly can? And how do we make sure that the data is really representative of what the world is telling us? Okay.
Now, Kelly, let's talk about big data for a moment in terms of the in-demand jobs that what big data provides in the industries.
So within New Jersey, a lot of the industries, as far as like the healthcare industry, the financial industry, and a lot of business sectors use big data, again, like to make predictions about sales, about the future of the companies. And our students, even as early on at the 2-year community college, are learning the tools and technologies that they need to be successful in industry.
Okay, so what kind of industries? Is it engineering? Architecture?
A lot of different disciplines can use data and data science. Okay. So computer scientists, mathematicians, statisticians, business analytics is a big field in data analytics. Right. And there's bioinformatics and things like that where big data is used.
Is there any other industries that are kind of growing in this field, like more than years past?
So, one of the things that I think is interesting is that there's a lot of the scientific fields, the science, the engineering, the math, the healthcare, all of those things that truly are sort of STEM fields. But I think what we're also seeing is that there's a lot of opportunities to use data in traditional fields. Right. If you want to sell people something, the more you know about them, the better you're going to be able to sell them.
Absolutely.
So we're looking at a lot of people who are going into business and using big data to be better salespeople. Right. Or if you're going into government, to use big data to use better decision making there as well.
Right. Well, I mentioned at the start, guys, this partnership is made through a relationship with the New Jersey Pathways Initiative. And for those who don't know, New Jersey Pathways is a collaboration between industry and education working together to better align the state's education efforts and its growing workforce. And we should mention that New Jersey Pathways Initiative is itself a partnership between New Jersey community colleges and NJBIA, and it's funded by the governor and the state legislature, for which we are eternally grateful. So Kelly, now that this is out of the way, what exactly will this pathway project, what is the goal of this project we're talking about?
The goal of the project is really to have a seamless pathway for students who enter the community college at the 2-year level, who get a degree in data science, take all the classes in data science, and they can transfer the 60 credits seamlessly into a 4-year institution. And so we want those credits to count towards their degree completion and towards their degree, and not just take classes and credits and they come in as elective credits.
Got it.
So this will put students, after completing the 2-year degree, to be a junior at the 4-year university.
And the goal here is to carry as many credits over as possible.
Yeah, the 60 credits should carry over from the 2-year college to the 4-year university.
I think it's important to remember that one of the keys that we're trying to do is make sure that the credits that are taken at the 2-year institutions are the ones that are needed for the 4-year degree, right? And so it's not that you're transferring over credits just to have credits. It's transferring over the courses that are going to really sort of push you along in a particular degree at a particular school.
Okay, and this articulation agreements, is that what we're basically talking about?
Yes.
And there's something here, 2x2 articulation agreements. Is that basically what you were just talking about?
Yeah, so that aligns the first 2 years at the community college, and then you would take the next 2 years at the 4-year university.
Okay. Has that been an issue, like, have there been, we mentioned about saving time and money. Is this something where some students, they go from, their community college to a larger college and they're surprised by what exactly is happening to them?
Yeah, so sometimes the credits will not transfer over, or sometimes the credits won't transfer toward, like if you're taking a data science class at a 2-year community college, we want that to count towards a data science course at the 4-year college, not just as an elective course or a free elective course.
And we're seeing sometimes the courses at a community college are the same course, and they mean one thing at one 4-year institution and one at another 4-year institution. So what we're trying to do is make sure that everybody's on the same page so that they transfer wherever you want to go in New Jersey.
So is it a matter of getting both the 2 and the 4-year school to agree to this same standards too to make this all happen?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we just want to agree to a curriculum alignment
so
that we're teaching the same topics and the same curriculum, and a lot of times, sometimes using the same technology that's used in data science. So a lot of the courses are taught in R and Python, or they might use Tableau or Alteryx. So we want to make sure the technologies also align across the different courses.
And we also want to make sure that what we're asking of the students, whether it's R or Tableau or any of those sort of programs, is that what industry wants? And so we bring in our industry partners and we say, what's next, and how do we make sure that our students are getting what is needed at the college so that they can step right into the jobs.
So basically, it's kind of like a roadmap that's going to go from 2 to 4. We've heard of these articulation agreements before. What's going to make this one different?
So most of the time, articulation agreements are between one 2-year and one 4-year institution. And so you do this negotiation back and forth, and you just align the curriculum. What we're trying to do in this process is identify across all of the 4-year institutions in New Jersey, what are the things that you need in math? What are the things you need in computer science? What are the things that you need even in ethics, in the ethics of big data? What are those things that would be helpful to move that along so that it's across all all of the 4-year institutions?
Okay. Kelly, as a mathematician, is mathematician
yes,
professor?
Yes, math is
right?
my background.
So have you had your own students have to deal with this too, like going from the 2-year to the 4-year, and maybe things were a little bit challenging for them at all?
Yeah, so one of the large differences between a lot of the degrees across New Jersey in data science is some of them require just up to Calc 1, and some degrees require Calculus 2 and Calculus 3.
Okay.
So it's kind of important to streamline the math requirements as well across the different curriculums, across the different colleges across New Jersey. So we want students to have the same experience across all the different institutions when they get their data science degrees.
Right, very good. Matt, what do you think? Can this approach work on other areas besides big data? Is there any other subjects where this can, or majors this can happen with?
To be honest, I'm hopeful that this is going to turn into a pathway for pathways in a lot of different ways. And be honest, because we're seeing so many students who are struggling with the cost of college. We're seeing so many students who aren't going right into a four-year institution. And we're also seeing a lot of businesses that are saying, do we really need to sort of have this? So we have to align what's happening at universities with the skill sets that the students need.
Right.
I honestly think you could do this in a lot of different arenas. We're just lucky to be the first one.
Well, it was like, if you could do it in data science, you could probably do it anywhere, right?
Well, we got a lot of smart people like mathematicians over here that can
So
help
the
us
good thing
figure it
about
out.
data science is it leads directly into internships for our students, and
Right.
it leads directly into the in-demand jobs for students across New Jersey. So I think, doing the pathway for data science makes a lot of sense because there is a big job market in New Jersey for that.
Got it. What about, are there some associate degrees that could be affected by this program?
Well, we've integrated the data science degrees and courses within the mathematics degree.
Okay.
We've integrated within the computer science degree, and some colleges have integrated it within the business degree, and they're calling it a business analytics degree.
Right.
So data science really fits as a nice, complement to some of the other degrees that already exist.
Very good. In closing, I wanted to ask you guys, we know how this partnership will benefit students eventually, but how do you think this program can also benefit businesses and New Jersey's economy?
So I talk to businesses every day, and they're saying we need people who understand this stuff. We need people who really have this
Absolutely.
background on data science. It's an enormous market. It is guaranteed jobs for our students, but we also have to make sure that what we're giving them are the things that they need in order to be successful in the job market.
Right.
And so we're working with our business partners to make sure that's happening.
Right. What do you think, Kelly?
Yeah, I think the same thing. Very early on within the first year of college, students are learning the technology that they need to be successful in industry.
Right.
So it goes back to they're learning the R programming, they're learning the Python programming, they're getting skills in Tableau and Alltracks, which are very in-demand skills to have in data science across New Jersey.
This is great stuff. It'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds. I know it's a work in progress. If folks want to learn more about New Jersey Pathways to Career Opportunities Initiative, you're going to head over to njpathways.org. And for more on the New Jersey Big Data Alliance, you're going to go to njbda.org, not njbia.org. That's a completely different thing. Kelly and Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks so much.
All
Really
right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Be
you
back
so
right
much.
after these words.
Calm before the storm? No, thank you. This is Jim's time to shine. And Mike's. And Jennifer's. Helmets? Check. Drones? Check. Checking that thing we just checked? Double check. We ain't got time to chill. We're out here driving this thing. This is when we get to work. To keep you connected. No matter what. Connect before the storm. Change how we weather them. Connecting changes everything. AT&T.
Welcome back to NJBIA's Mind Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Well, if you missed NJBIA's recent Insights and Outlooks event, we have a real treat for you. Drew Thompson, founder of Consult Drew, gave an inspired and fun presentation on how entrepreneurs and small businesses can integrate artificial intelligence into their business strategies. Have a look at Drew and fasten your seatbelts.
Oh my gosh, so my wife is so mad at me. I forgot to put the dishes in the dishwasher. She thinks I'm the worst husband. I work too much. I don't spend enough time with the kids. She says that I have digestive issues. I don't understand what's going on. Please help me figure out how to talk to my wife and just make her feel heard. But I really want to end this. I want to win the argument. And now, see if it'll play.
Drew, it's understandable that you're feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, but it's important to remember that arguments aren't about winning or losing. They're about coming to a resolution together. It seems like your wife is feeling overwhelmed and stressed. Rather than trying to win the argument, focus on listening to her concerns and validating her feelings. Show empathy and try to understand her perspective. You might say something like,
Oh, hold on.
I hear you, honey. It sounds like you've been feeling overburdened lately. Let's work together to find some...
Okay, so here's what I did, is I took that and I called my wife and I said, hey, honey, it feels like you're overburdened right now. I want you to know, read. I'm here for you. I love you. And I said it, and I remember just pausing and thinking to myself, ha, 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 I have won. Her instant response was, "Don't you ever use artificial intelligence when you're arguing with me ever again." I don't think it's fair, okay? You have the advantage. Now I have AI, so I have the advantage. This is what artificial intelligence can do for you. This is what AI is going. And when I'm talking about artificial intelligence, I'm talking about generative artificial intelligence. That is, it generates an output based on your input. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk through how to use two of the main ones that I think give the best results, and that is ChatGPT and something called Claude. They're both competitors in this space, the same way Apple competes directly with Samsung, right? Makes sense? But when I think of AI, this is how I think of it. I think of it as the world's smartest intern, kind of like this handsome fellow right here. It can do anything you want it to do, but you just have to ask it the right questions. You just have to talk to it in the right way, because that's how it knows to do what you want it to do. But it's going to mess up sometimes. Has anyone used AI and then it hallucinates and gives you a response and you're like, oh, this makes no sense whatsoever? Do you know there are lawyers who use AI to create briefs, and then they submitted a brief, and the brief was based off of completely made-up case law? So look, you got to know what you're talking about, and you got to know to see if the answer is correct or not. Now, these are the two that I'm talking about, Chat and Claude. Now, a lot of my talk today is going to be like drinking from a fire hose. Take one thing, put it in your business. I guarantee you it will revolutionize your output. But right now, chat.openai.com, for those not using chat, Claude is just Claude.ai. Claude.ai. I like Claude because it gives me a more human output. It gives me better ways to say things. And what's really interesting is once you learn to use both of these, you can take output from ChatGPT, put it into Claude, and say, hey, make this better. And then take Claude, put it into ChatGPT, and say, make this better. Guys, it's like having two of the smartest consultants by your side 24/7. Now, a lot of the work that I do, this was an event I did for a company named Anywhere. A lot of the work I do is workshops on how to deploy this in marketing or customer service or sales. This is one that I did, and I think it's going to be applicable to everybody, about how to put AI into work from a very simple perspective into marketing. Now, you have a breakout session on this as well after this, right? You have another one talking about going deeper on AI and marketing. But what I want to do is I want to go through this formula that you could use AI to brand and market yourself and your business. The formula I came up with here is the RISE formula: radically investing in your branding, innovating your message, seize the offensive, and establishing your leadership. Radically investing in your branding, that means knowing your brand message for your business. Innovating your message is how do you communicate that effectively. Seizing the offensive, how do we create more content and the velocity of creating marketing that's going to resonate with more people. And then establishing your leadership. So to radically invest in your branding, I want you to come up, like if I came up to, I like your jacket, by the way. I'm Drew. Nice to meet you, Anthony. If I asked you, Anthony, what do you do for a living? What would you say?
I work for ADP. I'm a broker channel manager, so I manage our insurance broker partnerships here in New Jersey.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. That was a very concise way to say it.
ChatGPT could probably do a better job.
It could. You could do one of two things. You could hire a branding expert, and they would say, all right, let's walk through. Are there any entrepreneurs in the building that run your own business? Okay. So you could hire someone to come up with a brand statement and tell you how to talk about your brand, or you could just run it through ChatGPT. What I have here is something called a one-liner statement. So the way that this works is, if you asked me, let's go back to you because I like your jacket. Ask me what I do.
What do you do?
Oh. You know how entrepreneurs think they have to go it on their own? I'm a business coach that harnesses generative artificial intelligence so they can unlock creativity, unlock efficiency, and get double the results in half the time. So I gave you a problem, a solution, and a result. Did I use ChatGPT to help me with that? Absolutely. But the thing is, it took you on a story really quickly. You understand the problem, you understand my solution, and you see what you get from it. So yours with ADP, I challenge you to put in everything you do into ChatGPT and use this prompt, and then see what it comes out with. Now, when I put things into ChatGPT, we know that you can do voice to text on your computer, yes? So any computer, whether it's a Mac or a PC, because of the Americans with Disabilities Act, you have to be able to use voice to text. I recommend getting in here and using voice to text, and then just talking, word vomiting, everything you're thinking about, because the output is going to be phenomenal. You see, the more we give these tools, the more it gives us stuff we can use. Now, the next part of this is innovating your message. Now, when I say innovate your message, how many people work in like a really technical field? Show of hands. Okay. My guy in the back here with the awesome blue shirt. What do you do? You run a data science team for Delta Dental. So I would imagine that means you're working with SQL, C++, like that's not programming. Let's just be honest. I'm trying to riff right now. I have no idea what you do. Vipin, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. So what do you do?
I use mathematical models, these AIs, any kind of time series analysis, probabilistic methods.
So you do this stuff. When I was in Business Management 201, stats in undergrad, you were the guys who actually understood what they were talking about. Oh, man. I totally didn't get that class at all. So what I'm saying is if you, let's just imagine for a second, Kevin, that you run your own business. You stepped out of Delta Dental because you can serve them faster, more efficient. You want to innovate your message. When you're talking to a client, if you said those things, I would have no idea what you're talking about. So we have to find a way to say that in a way that resonates with those people that we serve. Yes or yes? Oh, I need interactivity, guys. Yes or yes? Okay. Now, to do that, we want to make it as simple as a newspaper. Newspaper and journalist, my brother's a journalist. He's told that to write things like it's at a 3rd grade level, I believe. So it has to be super easy to understand. So here's what I want you to do. This is a prompt that I would take a picture of to use. Vipin, I believe you have this prompt. I know Vipin, we're in the same B&I chapter. It's going to take all of that technical jargon you have right there, and it's going to make it so simple. Like you could say, make this so I can explain it to a toddler. Do this in the voice of, let's see, Blippi. Do you guys know who Blippi is? Anybody? Kids? Yeah, thank you. By the way, if you don't know who Blippi is a genius. He just does videos that are reviews of companies and businesses, but he does it dressed like an adult toddler. And he does it, and he's got millions of views, syndicated by Netflix, and I think he has a net worth of over like $5 or $6 million. I missed my calling. So you can do that, and it will tell you how to talk to a toddler about what you do. Isn't this interesting? Guys, isn't this fascinating? I really do believe that in the next couple years, you're going to see things like ChatGPT. In 2026, you're going to go, oh yeah, ChatGPT is so old. I've got 4 AI agents that do my business for me. You're going to see the rise of a 1 to 5 person billion-dollar company. That is so close. It's right around the corner. And you have a chance right now. If you are leveraging this, your competitors, odds are, just by the show of hands in this room, odds are they're not. Right? Only 3 of you at the cool kids table over there said that you were using the paid version of ChatGPT. Right now, if I told you I could give you an assistant that knows everything about everything and is fast, and he's $20 a month, raise your hand. Would you pay $20 a month for that assistant? And also, the assistant can give you compliments about everything, which I may have it do sometimes. The next part to this RISE formula is seizing the offensive. Now, Jets fans, Giants, Eagles? Eagles? Yes, go Birds. Whether you love or hate this guy, he had an amazing offense. My brother was his quarterback for a very, very long time. Okay, whether you love him or hate him, that's a joke. He's not my brother. You all know who I'm talking about, Mr. Tom Brady. We call him Thomas. He talks about a good offense. Now, to have a good offense, we need to increase the velocity that you are putting out content. Now, content can be anything from marketing, marcoms, internal communications, anything that touches one of your shareholders or stakeholders, To do that, we want to do it consistently. How many people put out regular marketing and advertising? How many people put out things like video? That's more than I thought. How many have an endpoint where they directly touch the consumers and the people they work with in putting out that video, right? I tell ChatGPT that I need to create more content. I don't know what to talk about, but I know my business. And I want to get around that phase of, what should I say? If I'm a real estate agent, what should I say when I'm putting out videos? If I'm a loan officer, what should I say when I'm putting out content? If I'm an entrepreneur like Vipin, how do I talk about being a business broker in a way that's going to resonate with people? I put that into a prompt, but then I say something like, listen, all of these shows are on TV at the same time every single week. And right now, because there is so much uncertainty in the macroeconomic climate, consumers love regularity, right? This one's on at Mondays, that's on Sunday. I'm not sure when that is, but it's at the same time every week. So I need to have ChatGPT create me the content, tell me what to say, and when I should put it out there on a regular basis. Does that make sense? And here's the prompt that I'm going to use. So take a picture of this one, because when you put it in your computer, Jerry, it's going to be much different than when I do. Isabel, I love this jacket. The goal of telling you the story I have in real estate is to synthesize all of that data and come up with 14 ideas based on the stories I can use to create Instagram Reels. This is getting very in the weeds, by the way, very tactical. Isn't this cool? Because it's always like, oh, wow, I run the Marcom department. I know what we should be saying. I know what aligns with our initiatives for this year, but how can I do things a little bit different? And how can I do it with my assistant? And here's your assistant that can help you do it. Now, if I had my computer open, I would show you. To do this, I'd be like, here are the 5 stories about when I was in real estate. You know, I once sold a house, and I walked in on 2 realtors trying to make a 3rd realtor. Please do me a favor, and turn that into a story that I can use. And it will. We're working smarter and harder. But this part here, I think, is the best part and the most relevant part for everybody in this room, especially Mr. ADP. So, sorry, Anthony. ADP is like, that stuck out. So, all right, cool. So Anthony at ADP. So the thing here is that you want to put out like thought leadership pieces to show that you are the expert, right? To show that you know what you're doing, to show that you're different, that people should lean into your expertise, yeah? To do that, everybody's doing it, by the way. So if you're not using ChatGPT, you stand absolutely no chance at resonating. Just want you to know. But if you use this word right here, contrarian, you know what it means, yeah? Something different. And use that to create content with ChatGPT, to create let's just say a LinkedIn post, it's going to give you a completely different output. Thanks for playing along, Anthony. You see, you can just substitute that industry from insurance to whatever you do for a living. You work in lumber, Felicia? What is it? Hudson Lumber? Yeah, Houston Lumber, yeah. You could substitute this to give me the trending topics in building materials in this area. And it's going to go research in this area for you. And it's going to give you things to talk about. Zoom out a little bit more. If I took this and I said, I am the leader, are there any heads of a marketing department or a comms department? Yeah? Say, hey, listen, I run an entire Marcom department, marketing communications, for, let's just go with insurance agency. Give me the 5 things that are trending right now in benefits, broker, insurance, and how I should talk about them. But then here's the cool part. Inside of ChatGPT, it's going to be a text-based conversation, yes? Keep that conversation going. Because now I can get cross-department coordination. I can say, let's bring in internal communications. At the same time, let's bring in someone from HR. And then have the conversation. Okay, from an HR lens, how do I deploy the same output that you gave me when it comes to onboarding new employees? I'm going to give you our brand statement. I'm going to give you our values. How does this match with everything you're telling me to say? You see, this is having the smartest, Ivy League educated, if you will, person in the room with you. Oh, and by the way, you can tell something like chat, hey, pretend you went to undergrad at Harvard, then you went to Yale for your MBA, you worked at Bain, then you went to McKinsey, then you got tired of that life and decided life would be so much better and easier if you spent the rest of your life at Goldman, right? Yeah, I see you roll your eyes, yeah. My entire in-law family, they're all investment bankers, so yes, I understand. And it will behave like it has those expertises. Guys, I don't know about you, this could be the amount of caffeine that I've had in the last 24 hours, but it's super exciting, right? If this isn't going to change the way you do business now, just imagine if you don't use this in your business today, what's going to happen?
All right, thanks to Drew Thompson of Consult Drew, and thank you for joining us on NJBI's Mind Your Business. We'll see you next time.